3 months after the harrowing moment I was shot down in Kandahar, I returned home, a purple heart gleaming against my chest, a testament to the battle I had fought. At my own welcome home dinner, my mother cast a skeptical glance, brushing it off as nothing more than a mere scratch from a training exercise. Then my father, his voice chilling like the touch of death, pronounced the final verdict. "Brooke, you've never quite fit into this family's expectations." Unbeknownst to them, that seemingly insignificant scratch was on the brink of being celebrated in a grand ceremony at the White House, where the president himself would pay tribute. Aaron, I am known as Harper Quinn. At 28 years old, I stand as a corporal in the United States Marine Corps, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. To many, the sight of the uniform evokes a deep-rooted choice, steeped in legacy and fueled by an unwavering sense of patriotism. Yet, for me, it was a desperate struggle for survival. My tale does not start with a grand purpose. It all starts with a solitary radiant letter flickering on a computer screen, a moment frozen in time from 9 years past. It starts with a daring escape. At 19, Ann and I found themselves engulfed in a haze of burnt coffee and the bitter taste of failure, each breath a reminder of dreams slipping through their fingers. The sterile silence of my dorm room enveloped me, the cinderblock walls looming like a constant gray reminder that I was trapped in a place I didn't belong. On my laptop screen, a solitary glowing red F in organic chemistry loomed like a damning verdict, casting a shadow over my academic aspirations. The class loomed ahead, a predetermined milestone in the meticulously crafted journey my parents had envisioned for my future in medicine. The phone rang, its piercing sound slicing through the heavy silence, a jarring reminder of my hidden disgrace. A shiver ran down my spine as recognition washed over me. In my mother's voice there was no anger. It was something far more chilling. It was the weary, calculated tone of a CEO surveying a landscape of dwindling fortunes. "Get Brooke," she began, a heavy sigh escaping her lips before the words tumbled out, yet we poured our hearts and souls into it. The science camps, the private tutors, each a stepping stone in a journey filled with discovery and ambition. "I simply can't grasp why you refused to do it. Dedicate yourself fully. Your brother Ethan never subjected us to this kind of public humiliation." She never inquired about my well-being. She remained silent, her eyes searching for answers that lingered in the air, unspoken and heavy. She was immersed in the depths of a failed asset, and the unspoken conclusion loomed ominously in the air. I was the gamble that went wrong. A suffocating sensation enveloped me, as if I were ensnared in a life that was nothing more than a mask, constricting my very breath. I was a Carter, and in our realm, failure was a word that held no meaning for us. They ventured to the hallowed halls of Yale, or the prestigious grounds of Stanford. They never received failing grades at a state school. As dawn broke, I drifted through the campus, a specter among the throngs of students, each one marching purposefully toward their destinies. That's when it caught my eye. A seemingly ordinary fold-out table adorned with a banner that boldly proclaimed U.S. In the heart of the battlefield, where courage meets sacrifice, stands a brotherhood like no other. The Marine Corps, a legacy forged in fire, embodies the spirit of those who dare to be the few, the proud. Behind it loomed a woman whose presence commanded attention, radiating an aura that was anything but ordinary. Gunnery Sergeant Delgado stood before me, a Hispanic woman whose ramrod-straight posture commanded attention. Her steady gaze pierced through the layers of my carefully constructed facade, revealing the truth hidden beneath. She offered no grand promises of glory, nor did she indulge in the empty rhetoric of patriotism. She spoke of a concept that had always eluded me: purpose. Thus came the piercing whine. "We're not looking for the 4.0 students," she declared to the small group. But in that fleeting electric moment, her gaze locked onto mine. "We seek those who refuse to back down when the dreaded F appears on the screen. Your perfection is not what we seek. You must summon your strength and endure." And resilient, the word struck me with the weight of a physical blow. In that moment, at the age of 19, I experienced a revelation that pierced through the fog of my past. I was no longer just the daughter burdened by failure or the student weighed down by a dismal GPA. Instead, I stood as a testament to resilience, my grit shining like a beacon, revealing itself as a currency far more precious than I had ever imagined. It wasn't a vow of simplicity. It was a daring test of endurance, and it was a challenge that ignited a fierce, insatiable hunger within me, compelling me to accept it without hesitation. It was on that fateful Sunday, as the sun dipped below the horizon, that I chose to reveal my decision during dinner. The scene unfolded like a vivid painting, capturing the essence of my family's life within the opulent walls of their Beverly Hills sanctuary. My mother, Sylvia, expertly carving a succulent roast beef, its rosy interior glistening under the kitchen light. My father, Richard Carter, poured the rich, velvety Cabernet Sauvignon, the deep crimson liquid swirling in the glass like a promise of indulgence. My declaration, "I'm enlisting in the Marine Corps," pierced the air, shattering the serene calm that enveloped the room. The soft clinking of silverware came to an abrupt halt. A thick, oppressive silence enveloped the room, broken only by the mournful ticking of the ancient Raymond Blake clock, echoing through the hall. A clock that counted the passage of time through the milestones of scholarly triumphs. With deliberate precision, my father set his silver fork down upon his plate, the soft clink echoing in the charged silence of the room. He dabbed his lips with a starched linen napkin, each movement slow and deliberate, a calculated display of intellectual superiority that captivated the room. He averted his gaze from me, focusing instead on my mother, his voice steady and precise, slicing through the air like a surgeon's scalpel. "Sylvia, this is the consequence of our indulgence. The military, some say, is where people go when they seek a second chance." The words struck like a dagger, piercing through the fragile veil of my newfound hope. Yet, it was Trevor's response that delivered the ultimate twist of the blade. He released a sharp barking laugh, a sound brimming with raw, unfiltered disdain. How delightfully ironic. My little sister is about to embark on an adventure in the world of G.I. Jane stood at the edge of the world, her heart racing as the wind whipped through her hair. The horizon stretched endlessly before her, a canvas of possibilities waiting to be explored. Each breath she took was filled with anticipation, a whisper of adventure calling her name. What lay beyond the familiar? Only time would tell, but she was ready to find out. "Just do your best to keep your uniform clean, Brooke," the voice warned, a hint of tension lacing the air. In their eyes, I was not embarking on a journey of service. Shame was the path I had chosen. I found myself adrift, not seeking a purpose. Defeat was creeping in, wrapping around me like a suffocating shroud. 2 weeks later, I found myself in a recruitment office, the pen feeling like a weighty anchor in my hand. With each deliberate stroke of my pen, I was not merely signing my name. I was sealing my fate within the Marine Corps. I was cutting through the unseen, choking threads that had bound me for as long as I could remember. They believed I was fleeing from failure, but what they failed to see was that I was racing toward the one purpose that had ever truly ignited my soul. In that moment, a profound realization washed over me, a blend of fear and freedom, as I grasped that the journey ahead would be mine to traverse in solitude. Yet the destination I was racing toward had not emerged from the cold confines of that sterile recruitment office. It had taken root years earlier, during the stillness of quiet Saturday afternoons, when time seemed to stretch and secrets whispered through the air. In those fleeting hours, I found solace in the one sanctuary of my family's universe, the dimly lit confines of my grandfather's garage, where the air felt alive and I could finally breathe. Amidst the chaos, a beautiful mess unfolded. A sanctuary steeped in the rich aromas of sawdust, machine oil, and the whispers of old honorable secrets. To my parents, he was merely a quiet carpenter, a retired Marine whose rugged demeanor clashed with their refined intellectual circle. He stood as a remnant of a bygone era, a time that was raw and unpolished. Yet, in my eyes, he was a seer, a voice of profound wisdom. He never uttered a word about the medals, hidden away in a locked footlocker beneath his workbench, their stories waiting in silence. His pride surged not from the gifts bestowed upon him, but from the battles he had fought and the triumphs he had carved from the very fabric of his existence. He allowed me to perch on a weathered wooden stool, the aroma of freshly cut pine enveloping us, as he unveiled his true trophy, a worn olive-drab canvas medic bag, a relic from his time in Vietnam. The buckles glinted with a polished sheen, their edges softened by countless encounters, while the fabric hung in tatters, a testament to the relentless passage of time. He pointed to a dark, rust-colored stain on one of the gauze pockets, his voice a low, gravelly rumble that resonated like the very earth beneath our feet. "In that moment," he would say, his callous finger delicately following the contour of the stain, "it came from Corporal Johnson, A shard of shrapnel pierced through the air, embedding itself deep in my chest near Kaysen. I cradled his heart in my hands for what felt like an eternity, each pulse a desperate plea for survival as we waited for the dust-off chopper to arrive. He'd gaze at me then, his eyes reminiscent of a weathered blue sky, unwavering and transparent. "Saving a life, Brooke," he'd say, the words hanging in the air, heavy with meaning. It carries a gravity, a significance that no framed diploma could ever hope to rival. The legacy I yearned to claim was his, not theirs. In his garage lay the stark contrast to my parents' living room, a pristine, silent realm where I felt less like a daughter and more like a visitor wandering through a museum, each object a testament to a life I barely knew. In the heart of that room stood the altar where my family gathered in reverence, a magnificent fireplace that commanded attention. The wall above it stood as a testament to what my mother proudly referred to as the Carter legacy. It stood as a testament to the relentless pursuit of knowledge and wealth. My father's history PhD, encased in a frame of heavy mahogany, stands as a testament to his relentless pursuit of knowledge. My mother's genetics PhD from Yale, a mirror image of its twin. In the heart of the room, commanding attention, hung a framed article from Forbes magazine, chronicling the rise of my brother Trevor's multimillion-dollar tech startup. Each certificate, each accolade stood in flawless alignment, a striking testament to a lineage steeped in intellectual triumph, from which I felt an overwhelming sense of disconnection. And I was just 14 when I clinched the district championship in cross-country running. I stumbled through the door breathless and with my heart racing, gripping a gold-colored trophy that felt as heavy and significant as the weight of the world itself. My mother grasped it from my hands, her smile polite yet distant, gracing her lips but never reaching her eyes. "That's lovely, dear," she said, her voice dripping with the same saccharine sweetness reserved for a neighbor's freshly planted flower beds. She strode purposefully to the imposing built-in bookshelf, her fingers brushing against the spines of countless volumes. With a deliberate motion, she set my trophy atop the highest shelf, carefully positioning it just behind a small abstract bronze sculpture, as if hiding it away in a secret alcove of memories. It remained steadfast, unmoved by the passage of time. It faded into silence, never to be spoken of again. My sweat, my grit, my hard-won victory. It felt like a mere trinket, a trivial decoration unworthy of standing beside the true accomplishments of my family. That day, a lesson etched itself into my very being. My achievements, if they couldn't be immortalized in a frame and displayed on the wall, felt utterly meaningless. That day, when my SAT scores landed in my hands, it felt like the last blow to any confidence I had left. The entire family congregated in the library, a shadowy sanctuary adorned with dark wood paneling, its walls brimming with books that exuded the musty scent of aged paper, and a sense of intellectual grandeur. My scores were decent, sufficient for a solid state university, yet within the lofty expectations of the Carter household, they loomed as a staggering public failure. It was a deep affront to the Ivy League legacy we believed was our rightful inheritance. Yet my father remained silent. His voice remained steady, unwavering. He snatched the score report from my quaking hands, his expression a cold, unreadable facade. He fixed his eyes on it, lost in thought for what felt like an eternity. Finally, he shifted his gaze to the expansive bay window, peering out at the immaculate, emerald-green lawns that stretched across Beverly Hills. He released a deep, lingering sigh, the weight of the world pressing heavily on his chest. It resonated not with fury, but with a profound, heart-wrenching disappointment, a sound that cut deeper than any scolding could ever inflict. "And well, that's that," he declared, his gaze fixed on my mother, dismissing me as if I were merely a piece of furniture, an object no longer worthy of the conversation. "The Carter academic legacy, it seems, will end with this generation." In that moment I was marked forever. I was no longer merely a daughter who had fallen short. I found myself as a shattered fragment in the chain, a disheartening disruption to a legacy steeped in honor. I was the final punctuation in their grand, unbroken narrative. Amidst those words, that sigh, that forgotten dusty trophy, they ignited a fire within me. As the relentless, soul-crushing marches at Paris Island wore on, and fellow recruits fell one by one, their bodies and spirits shattered, I found solace in the stillness of my mind, closing my eyes to escape the chaos around me. The sound of my father's sigh echoed in the stillness, while my trophy lay forgotten, gathering dust in the shadows. Yet, amidst the weight of it all, I discovered a flicker of strength that urged me to rise once more. Ellen Paris Island, South Carolina, was a unique kind of torment, forged from oppressive humidity, the relentless shouts of drill instructors, and the deep-seated pain that gripped your muscles each night. It was crafted to dismantle you, to peel away the layers of the civilian you once were, and to reshape you into a Marine from the trembling essence that remained. For me, it was a trial by fire in every sense of the word. The physical pain surged through him, sharp and unyielding, yet it bore a strange clarity. It was raw and unfiltered. It was a currency I grasped fully, a stark contrast to the subtle, simmering conflicts that unfolded at my family's dinner table. In the minds of many, one moment stands out during the final phase of recruit training, an event known as the Crucible. The grueling 54-hour field exercise loomed ahead, a relentless trial crafted to push you beyond every boundary you thought you had. We were utterly drained, teetering on the edge of consciousness, fueled only by sheer willpower. As I navigated the treacherous obstacle course, my foot lost its grip on a slick log, sending me tumbling into a pit of frigid, viscous mud that enveloped me in its suffocating embrace. It rose to my chest, its insatiable grip dragging me deeper into its depths. I fought against the weight, but my muscles howled in agony. For a fleeting second, doubt crept in, whispering the seductive promise of surrender. The mud enveloped the surroundings in an eerie tranquility, a sanctuary where the relentless struggle could finally cease. And then I saw her, Gunnery Sergeant Rivera, standing at the edge of the pit, hands firmly planted on her hips, her expression an unyielding mask of stone. She stood there, her hand resolutely at her side, offering nothing. Not a single word of encouragement escaped her lips. Her bark sliced through the haze of my fatigue, sharp and commanding. "Carter, your PhD father isn't around to rescue you now. Your mother is not here to soothe you. On the other side, your platoon awaits, a tense anticipation hanging in the air. Rise and shine." Her words crackled with a jolt of electricity. The air is thick with tension as your platoon stands poised, anticipation crackling like electricity around you. It was a seemingly simple statement, yet it radiated a power I had never encountered before. I found myself entwined in a web of purpose. My presence was essential. With every ounce of strength, I clenched my teeth against the searing pain in my arms, my fingers sinking into the slick clay bank as I fought to pull myself free. I staggered out, my body cloaked in thick mud, the stench of the swamp clinging to me like a second skin. Yet within me surged a fierce, unyielding determination. In this place, vulnerability was not a mark of shame for the family. It loomed before them, a challenge waiting to be conquered. 13 weeks had passed, and there I stood on the parade deck, transformed from a mere recruit into a proud Marine. With a surge of pride, I stood tall as my name echoed through the hall, celebrated for my exceptional skills in marksmanship and physical fitness. That afternoon, the moment arrived for my 15-minute phone call home. My hands quivered with anticipation as I punched in the well-known Beverly Hills number. A reckless, defiant hope beat wildly in my chest. Perhaps this time they would finally understand. Perhaps at last they would feel a swell of pride. I carefully chose Sunday evening for the call, fully aware they would be deep in the midst of their dinner ritual. My mother responded, her voice a mere echo, lost amid the clinking of glasses and the soft murmur of conversation swirling around us. "Joe, it's me, Brooke. Is everything okay? Your father and Ethan are deep in conversation, their voices low and intense as they dissect the intricacies of the prospectus for the upcoming IPO. Jetteroni and everything's perfect, Mom," I exclaimed, my voice ringing out, too loud, too eager. Today marked a monumental achievement. I graduated, and with honors no less. I stood at the pinnacle of my platoon, immersed in the moment, feeling the weight of leadership and the thrill of responsibility. She interrupted me, not with malice, but with the indifferent ease of someone brushing aside an annoying insect. "Ah, how delightful, my dear. That's lovely, dear. I wish I could hear more, but the guests are arriving. Make sure you look after yourself from now on." The line fell silent, an eerie stillness enveloping the air. The call had slipped away in under 2 minutes. The dial tone that buzzed in my ear pierced through the silence, more jarring than the sharp crack of rifle fire echoing across the training range. I stood there, gripping the cold receiver, the pride I had felt just moments ago seeping away, leaving behind an empty, aching void that echoed in the silence. This marks the beginning of my first Christmas leave. With unwavering resolve, I returned home, ready to unveil the woman I had transformed into. Clad in my Marine Corps dress blues, the midnight blue jacket hugged my shoulders, while the crisp white cap perched atop my head, embodying every trial I had faced and every triumph I had achieved. I believed, perhaps foolishly, that the uniform would evoke even a hint of respect. I was mistaken. As I stepped into the living room, my eyes were drawn to a magnificent Christmas tree, its towering presence adorned with shimmering lights that sparkled like stars in the night sky. Ethan glanced up from his phone, a sly grin breaking across his face, hinting at secrets untold. His gaze swept over me, lingering with a smirk that dripped with condescension, before he let out a mocking chuckle. "Ah, what a surprise! Look who has finally arrived. Are you stepping into the spotlight for a role in a film, Brooke? When does this entire Halloween dress-up saga come to a close?" My mother hurried to my side, her expression a carefully crafted facade of anguish. "Oh, darling," she whispered, her fingers pulling at the sleeve of my jacket as if it were tainted with some unseen danger. "That uniform is so bold. Wouldn't a dress be more fitting for Christmas dinner?" The uniform, forged through blood, sweat, and tears, stood as a testament to my unwavering commitment to a cause greater than my own existence. In their world, it was a grotesque masquerade, an awkward aberration that shattered the illusion of normalcy, a blemish on the flawless canvas of their family portrait. That night, in the solitude of my childhood bedroom, I methodically removed the uniform, each piece falling away like the weight of memories long carried. I folded the jacket with a precision honed by the relentless drills of my instructors, each sharp crease a silent testament to a discipline they could never truly grasp. I glimpsed my reflection in the shadowy window pane. Behind me, the festive lights of the Christmas tree shimmered, casting a soft, colorful glow that felt like a distant memory of warmth and belonging, something I would never truly discover within these cold, unwelcoming walls. In that moment, clarity washed over me like a tidal wave. My family was absent. Somewhere beyond the horizon, my family lingered, their presence a distant echo waiting for my return. The family I had been searching for was not waiting for me in a pristine house in Beverly Hills. Instead, it lingered in the shadows, elusive and haunting, just beyond my reach. In the swirling dust and chaos of Kandahar airfield, Afghanistan, they awaited my arrival. This unfamiliar realm struck like a thunderclap, jolting every sense into a heightened state of awareness. The sun beat down like a merciless hammer, its rays striking with an unyielding force. The air hung heavy, a suffocating blend of sand and diesel fumes that clawed at the senses. The relentless thunder of C-130s and helicopters filled the air, weaving itself into the very fabric of our existence. My new family was my squad, a ragtag assembly of 5 souls, each plucked from the farthest reaches of America, united by fate and circumstance. In the midst of chaos stood our platoon leader, Lieutenant Martinez, a reserved figure from Texas. His calm demeanor and unwavering gaze served as a steadfast anchor in the raging storm around us. O'Malley, our machine gunner, was a quick-witted Boston native, his colorful profanity flowing as freely as the bullets from his weapon, a relentless shield against the fear that gripped us all. In the heart of Iowa, there was Lance, a young farm boy just shy of 20, whose unwavering devotion to his mother compelled him to write to her every single day, without exception. They were my brothers, and I was their corpsman, Doc Carter, bound by duty and blood in the heart of chaos. On that first night, the haunting crackle of gunfire reverberated through the darkness, a chilling reminder of the danger lurking just beyond the perimeter. A chilling knot of dread coiled tightly in my stomach. As Jake Thompson settled onto the cot beside me, I fought to conceal the tremors that betrayed my unease. Without uttering a single word, he pressed a slightly melted Hershey's chocolate bar into my palm, the warmth of it lingering between us. "My mom sent it," he mumbled, his gaze fixed on the floor, as if the weight of his words pressed him down. "She claims that chocolate has the power to transform even the darkest moments into something sweeter." In that fleeting moment, beneath the soft glow of a solitary bulb, a simple, awkward gesture transcended the ordinary, resonating deeper than any conversation I had ever shared with my own family. At last, I had discovered my tribe. Mail call became the heart of our deployment, a moment charged with emotion and anticipation. Each week, I found myself caught in a cycle of hope, yet it always ended with the bitter sting of disappointment. We would huddle together, anticipation crackling in the air. As the mail clerk's voice rang out, calling names one by one, O'Malley received care packages brimming with cookies from his wife, each one a sweet reminder of home, though he would reluctantly part with a few to share. Lance's face would ignite with joy as he unfolded the long multi-page letters from his mother. Lieutenant Navarre received et crayon drawings from his 5-year-old daughter, each one a burst of color and innocence that he carefully taped to the inside of his helmet. And then there I stood. Week after week I stood there, a knot of hope twisting tighter in my chest, each time bracing myself for the moment when the clerk would call the last name and turn away, leaving my heart heavy with disappointment. The slot in the mail container stood vacant, a silent testament to the absence of news, anticipation hanging heavy in the air. Initially, I found myself crafting justifications for their actions. They were consumed by their tasks. After 2 long months of suffocating silence, the truth descended upon me, cold and heavy, like a stone dropped into the depths of a still lake, sending ripples of despair through my very being. I had slipped into the shadows, lost to the world around me. One fateful afternoon, Martinez caught sight of me fixated on the vacant mail bin, lingering long after the last of the others had departed. He approached, not with pity, but with a profound understanding that resonated in the silence between them. His hand landed heavily on my shoulder, a firm grip that sent a jolt through me. "Carter," he murmured, "letters from home are a rare treasure. The figure beside you is essential, a lifeline in the unfolding drama of life." With a swift motion, he ripped his peanut butter and jelly sandwich in two, offering me a half with an unspoken bond of camaraderie. It lay there, squashed and warm beneath the sun's embrace, yet its flavor surpassed any 5-star roast beef I had ever savored at home. A month later, the weight of our purpose crashed down upon us, a revelation that shook the very core of our existence. As our convoy rolled through the desolate landscape, the ground trembled beneath us, and in an instant, the world erupted into chaos. An ID detonated with a deafening roar, tearing through the lead Humvee and sending it tumbling onto its side, engulfed in a fiery explosion and swirling black smoke. It was O'Malley's vehicle, a shadowy presence lurking in the dim light, its engine a low growl that hinted at secrets untold. As the panic surged within me, my training surged forth, a cold, clear wave that swept away the chaos. All I could hear was my grandfather's voice, echoing in my mind, "Saving a life, Brooke. It carries a heavy significance." I sprinted toward the blazing wreckage, while others cowered in fear, frozen in place. Private Riley was hit badly. His leg was torn by shrapnel, blood pooling fast. Crimson life surged from the gaping wound. As enemy fire rained down around us, I pulled him from the chaos, my hands trembling as I applied a tourniquet, desperately trying to staunch the flow of blood. I shielded his body with my own, heart pounding, until the thunder of the medevac chopper's blades sliced through the air above us. Weeks later, beneath the relentless Afghan sun, the entire platoon stood rigidly at attention. Lieutenant Navarro loomed before me, his expression grave and intense. With a steady hand, he affixed the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal to my chest, the weight of its significance settling in the air between us. His voice rang out, unwavering and resonant, cutting through the air for everyone to grasp. "In this place, your origins and lineage hold no weight. They are mere whispers lost in the wind. Your actions hold significance, especially when it counts the most." His gaze pierced through me, unwavering and intense. "What you did, Doc, was nothing short of a miracle. You saved one of our own. You rescued our brother from the brink of despair." For the first time, the weight of the medal on my chest pressed down, a tangible reminder of the battles fought and the sacrifices made. It held a profound significance. It bore a heavy significance. On that fateful night, I seized the moment to dial home with my satellite phone, my heart swelling with an uncontainable pride that electrified the air around me. My mother replied, her voice a faint echo, almost lost amidst the vibrant symphony of music and laughter that enveloped us. "A celebration?" I inquired. "At a charity gala, my dear," she whispered. "For the museum, a realm of history and wonder awaits." I shared the tale of the medal of O'Malley, as my voice surged with urgency, each word tumbling forth in a desperate rush. "Oh," she said, her voice devoid of emotion. "Oh, that's absolutely wonderful, my dear. Listen closely, for I have thrilling news to share." Ethan had just ascended to the coveted position of junior partner at his firm, a milestone that shimmered with promise and challenge. Pride swells within us, an unstoppable force ready to erupt. The line crackled with an electric tension. I must flee, my love. The auction is about to begin. The line fell silent, an eerie void replacing the connection. The silence that enveloped me was a haunting echo, far louder than the blast that had awarded me the medal. The commendation medal, gleaming with honor, did nothing to alter the shadows that loomed over home. In truth, it appeared to deepen the turmoil. The legacy of my family loomed large, casting its dark silhouette from the glitzy streets of Beverly Hills to the rugged peaks of Afghanistan. A relentless, icy reminder that in their gaze, I remained irrevocably lost on the wrong path. The chasm between my two worlds revealed itself with a jarring intensity a few months after I had rescued O'Malley. A rare email from my father landed in my inbox, sending a jolt of anticipation through me. Silence hung in the air, thick and heavy, devoid of any greeting or concern for my well-being. It was a terse, cutting line. Your grandmother is set to undergo hip replacement surgery at Cedars-Sinai next month. Your mother believes it's time for you to come home, to lend your support as she navigates her recovery. After all, you possess medical experience. Ed and I locked our eyes on the screen, a chilling wave of disbelief crashing over me. Seek permission to be absent. He pinned it as though I were trapped in the monotony of a 9-to-5 office job in downtown LA, oblivious to the reality of my existence in a combat zone where leave was a distant dream and each day felt like a roll of the dice. The audacity of the request hit me like a thunderclap, a chilling reminder of the total indifference to the chaos that defined my existence. To them, my deployment, my duty, my very existence in this place was merely a part-time hobby, easily set aside for the sake of family convenience. With a steady hand, I crafted a concise email, the words flowing with a professional tone, yet underscored by the weight of my decision. Taking leave was simply not an option. Silence enveloped the air, heavy and suffocating. He never wrote back. The silence loomed like a heavy shroud, a verdict hanging in the air. Wasn't the ultimate testament to their detachment revealed during my second Christmas in this land? A package arrived, its surface adorned with my mother's elegant handwriting, drawing me into a world of memories and anticipation. A spark of hope, a reckless and defiant ember, flared to life within me. Perhaps this time, perhaps she truly grasped it at last. My entire squad closed in, anticipation crackling in the air as I ripped it open. Their curiosity enveloped the room like a warm, inviting glow, drawing everyone in with its magnetic charm. Their excitement eclipsed my own. Inside, the air was devoid of Christmas candy, the warmth of cozy socks absent, and the familiar taste of home was nowhere to be found. Instead, my fingers glided over the glossy, weighty paper, each touch igniting a spark of intrigue. The course catalog for the Keck School of Medicine at USC lay before me, a thick tome of pristine pages waiting to unveil its secrets. Within the confines of the envelope lay a complete set of application forms, my name and personal details meticulously typed into the designated fields, waiting for the next step in a journey yet to unfold. A delicate cream-colored note card was fastened to the front, its presence hinting at secrets waiting to be uncovered. My mother had penned a message that sent a shiver down my spine. Brooke, it's time to start thinking seriously about your real future. This fleeting adventure of yours is bound to meet its end. And the air vanished from the room,